Thank you so much to joining us today for this interview. Let's kick this off with a short introduction. Could you please tell something about you and your role in Twine Security?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me. It's welcome everyone that's joining us. So my name is Justin Woody, and I'm one of the co-founders, Twine Security, focusing in on growth and strategy and messaging. Just a little bit about me. So in my previous roles before Twine Security, I worked incident response. I led a team for Google for a number of the big incidents and breaches we had around the world early on. And then from there, I decided to, hey, let's protect critical infrastructure. So I moved to a company called Clarity. And from Clarity, we said, hey, let's start our own thing. And we started Twine Security about a year ago. So that's a little bit about me. I'm happy to dive in a little bit more what I do at Twine Security from an overall perspective. I think, at Twine Security, I really look at, I like to talk to CISOs and leaders in the cyberspace to kind of understand what their main challenges are, talking about where the big needs are, mapping patterns across customer bases, and understanding where the big pain points are. We have a lot of tools in cyber. I think nobody's going to say that cyber has a lack of tools, and understanding where everything plays and actually where the pain points are is pretty significant. And then finally, I want to understand where partners are existing, how they're playing in the market, how we complement partners, and ultimately how we fit into the ecosystem. This whole agentic AI is new for us, it's new for our partners, new for our customers, and we're figuring out how all the pieces fit and where the value is really there to be driven. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, thank you so much. It sounds very exciting, but let's talk about Twine Security for a while. How would you describe Twine Security's mission, and what makes it stand out in the cybersecurity space?
Yeah, so we all the founding team came from a company called Clarity, and at Clarity we were in the OT space, and we were looking to see, how do we tell you about the problems you have, right? How do we let you know where you need to focus and prioritize your goals and your activities? And we thought about this, and we were like, wait a second, this is a very much of a bottom-up approach, right? We have a tool telling us what we should do every day. And if you think about that, that's kind of the wrong way. It should be really a top-down. You should have your goals, like, hey, these are my objectives. And from there, you should be able to tell your tools what to do, not the other way around. And so we're like, hey, let's stop giving people work and let's start taking it away. And this is kind of our big mission statement in Twine Security. How do we take work off people's plates, right? And make the people that we have, one, be more productive, two, have time to actually think instead of just chasing tasks all day. And this is our mission at Twine. How do we help cyber professionals focus on what their strategic goals are? And if you think about our cyber industry, it's over the last 5 years, right? The technology and digital transformation has increased, and as you increase this, our complexity has become extremely high, and especially in disciplines like identity and access management and others. It's getting to a spot where it's too complex for humans to actually understand what's going on. Like when you think about the difference between access in a Active Directory versus in cloud instances versus your zero trust permissions and your ZTNA activity, it's too complex. Mm-hmm. And this is where we think that agentic solutions really can help focus.
Yes, it's a big challenge for today's companies as well.
I think just to throw a couple stats in there to back it up, if you think about organizations, Deloitte did some research last year, and it said half of an organization's cyber budget is in labor costs, which is staggering. There's another study that said from ISC Squared last year that 67% of organizations are inadequately staffed, right? So there's a big problem in terms of having the right skills. And finally, like a CISO survey said that almost 80% of their organizations lacked in-house skills. I think that it's not that we don't have smart people. It's just they're so focused on getting their tasks done day to day. They can never look up, and they can never think about how they actually need uh, to focus in on efficiencies and strategic angles.
Okay, and if I getting you right, this is where Twine Security can help them.
Yes. So look, this is the spot, and I think there's a number of, when you think about agentic AI, where people are going, there's been a couple flavors, right? There's been the idea that, hey, we've had AI, right? Like with ChatGPTs and others, where you can ask questions and you can start to help you in the day to day, like standard assistants. And then we're now entering into the agentic phase, right? How do you have one agent, two agents, 50 agents that are going to operate as one entity, that are going to help address, these cyber issues? And I think this is where we sit, right? We're going to bond, and we've built a multi-agent system that actually has enough components that we can very confidently say we're emulating a digital employee. We are emulating a human and how they work. I read it in the Wall Street Journal a couple days ago. There's a couple big financial organizations, JP Morgan Chase. They're actually implementing digital employees, and they're onboarding them as a traditional employee with their own user ID, their own access, their own HR records, and other things. And this is what we're building. We're building these digital employees that are actually going to be part of an organization's fabric, not just another one-off tool that people use.
What is the core product or service you offer, and how does it solve the real problems?
So at Twine, we're building AI digital employees, and these are going to join your team, your cyber team. It's going to augment your existing team. So we see in the future teams being a hybrid approach. There's going to be cyber employees, and then you're going to have your digital employees, your AI employees that are going to work right alongside. And I think the big question we get is, hey, isn't that going to replace jobs? And we don't see it this way. We see that the jobs that people currently have are going to become much more flexible, right? People are going to not be stuck in one job for 15 years anymore. It's going to be the ability to move as AI takes over things, be able to be very strategic. And I think this is going to build a lot of flexibility into what we're able to do. So we talked to about 200 different CISOs, and the number one pain point as we were growing our business was in identity and access management. And we see a lot of agentic solutions are focusing on the SOC, but we're focusing and are the first company to focus an AI agentic solution on identity and access management. And we think this is where the biggest pain point in organizations are. If you look at big breaches, they're all have an identity component. And for us, what exactly we're building is we're building a digital employee. It's a multi-agent system where we stitch multiple different agents that do different tasks together, and they start talking, communicating, and build a mesh and a fabric around the agentic AI agents. And then we train this agent, each agent, with deep discipline in identity and access management. Some of the agents are going to be trained in governance. Others are going to be trained in compliance. You have others trained in activities like how do I onboard and offboard employees quickly. And so each of these will function. But what's interesting is as one agent, as your governance agent learns, everybody's going to learn at the same time and have that understanding. And so it's going to be it's exponential growth and knowledge increases between the agents. So We're focused on identity and access management. Digital employees is the core of what we're building.
Twine is clearly a learning-driven team. What does continuous improvement look like for you and for Twine?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely kind of our heart and soul of what we do. I will say that being in the agentic AI space, if you're not learning, you're dying. I think what we started developing and working on and building a year ago, the market has already quickly changed. So we are continuously updating and improving. I think from a practical perspective, how we do this, every time we talk to customers, we are listening, and we do postmortems and look back on each and every deployment we do to understand what pain points the customer is having. We listen to the customer quite a bit, and we seek feedback really early. Like we don't wait for 4 weeks down the road to hear. We want feedback within minutes of them beginning, and we believe that we listen and then we change really quickly. How do we iterate within hours rather than days or weeks or months? And I think this is key. We also believe in failing fast, right? This idea that we're going to test, we're going to innovate, we're going to look to see what we can do. But if it doesn't work, let's bail. Let's understand what success and what failure means. And this is also one of our core talents, is to understand what works, but then also what doesn't work.
And that's important too. Beside the success, it's very important to realize what doesn't work, what's not working well, and make some conclusions about this.
Yeah, you can spend a lot of time working on failure projects and not know it.
Yeah, yes, that's a problem. What's your current connection to the Hungarian IT sector?
From a Hungarian sector, you guys, it's a long-standing technical strengths. I know you got strong in math and cryptography and software engineering. A number of our teams have ties to the Hungarian and have roots there, both in academic and our research community. So we definitely continue to use that community as a sounding board. We are absolutely keeping a very active eye on all the activity that from the open source perspective. You guys are very strong in infrastructure and automation. Our core teams are in the EMEA region. So even though we're not headquartered right there in Hungary, we are absolutely using a lot of the resources, and I think we'll chat a little bit about where the future takes us there.
Are you actively collaborating with Hungarian developers, partners, or communities right now?
Yes, we're young, and so there's always more to do. We are in the early stages with partnering with several of the tech partners there in Hungary. We also, like I shared, the research that is going on. We've been tracking, and we're starting to collaborate with building with some of the research that's being done there, and as well as the communities, right? The very active security and development communities that we're not only listen to but are participating in. So we're young. We're starting to build relationships, and it's going to continue to grow. We're always open to more, and so we're excited about that.
How do you see Hungary and the Central European role in the broader European or global tech ecosystem?
I think as we look at countries, there's countries that are always going up and countries that are going down. And I really see Hungary as one of the countries that's rising. Very strong academic foundations, especially like in STEM and some of the programming and cyber. There's an unusual high density of talent with a lot of experience. And I think, just to be frank, I think the tech community is a bit underrated, and it's got really meaningful contributions, especially in open source. And I think that this is going to start being understood and seen more and more as Hungary keeps rising. And I think the big areas that I see that that there's going to be key focus and key contributions are, infrastructure, native cloud development. I think that AI and ML is also a strong area
Mhm.
from the innovation hubs that you guys have there present.
I absolutely agree. Are you planning to expand or strengthen your presence in the Hungarian market?
We're young, so and 100%, right? Like you don't ignore such a talent pool, right? Where there's so much to contribute. I think there is, just to be frank, there is. I'm a firm believer in team, right, and being able to collaborate very closely. So we have our R&D teams together, and then we look to see how we can work together with key components there in Hungary, from our core kind of development center. We really want to build partnerships that we can, that not just in the short term, right, but have meaningful sustainability. So I think we're excited about the potential there.
Okay, let's continue with some questions about the future. What are Twine Security's future plans or ambitions? How do you see yourself in the next few years?
We think that we're just at the beginning of this agentic AI journey. We're building our first digital employee is in identity, and we think this is a massive area, right? There is our identity, our employee can say 70% of cyber teams times. And so we think that this is our kind of our near and focus, and we've built our identity employee. But we think that as we go forward, it's not just going to be around identity; it's going to be around in other areas, disciplines in cyber. We're going to build in, for example, like vulnerability management and compliance and GRC. The different disciplines are going to be things that we're going to take our core digital employee and train them with these type of skills. And so when you hire Twine, you're going to get not only an employee in identity and access management, but you're going to get an employee in every discipline. And if you can think about how those employees will function on the back end, it's the ability for each employee to communicate and cross discipline type of communication is really going to be the transformational key as we grow in terms of cyber as a whole.
Is there anything else you would like to mention or talk about Twine security?
I think from where we're headed from a company, I think there's a couple areas. One is, yes, we're building cool tech, and yes, it's in agentic AI. I think there's also, we want to be part of the story, right? We want to be part of the thought leadership, part of the stream that helps contribute to the greater environment. And I know, this is one of the things that Hungary has really drives, right? How do they build thought leadership? How do they keep giving, not just taking? We see a lot of organizations that people just take from the environment and utilize it for their own good, but we really want to be one of the thought leaders, contributing back and helping grow not just us, but everybody as we help protect, help protect from a cyber perspective across the landscapes. So I think that's kind of a big vision.